Hi, I'm Malcolm, and today I'm going to show you how we're going to be making compost, specifically worm compost. We're going to take this vegetable matter out of the aquaponics tank, and then we're going to introduce 60% of vegetables and 40% soil. And what we're going to do is introduce worms into the compost bin, and the worms are going to make the soil a lot healthier. It's called worm compost. We take the vegetable waste and make really healthy amendment to the soil to make your plants grow faster and also have more vitamins and even taste better. So what I'm going to do is just pull these out directly from the aquaponics system. And as you can see in the aquaponics system, it's real easy to remove different objects from the system very, very easily. Small plants, just shake out the rocks, as well as larger plants. Very easy to pull the plants out. And if you ever wanted to replant something, just simply move it to the location you want, and there you have it. It's real easy to manage an aquaponic system because the system pretty much takes care of itself. You just have to make sure that the water is flowing and the fish are fed. So what I'm going to do is just pull these plants out right here and start collecting these. All of these up, and then what I'm going to do is put in the winter vegetables such as spinach, lettuce, and beets. Now, as you see, it's real easy, very little hassle. So again, we're going to take all this vegetable waste and convert it into healthy soil by putting it in with a lot of carbon matter, such as leaves and soil, and then we're going to introduce worms into the mixture, and the worms will eat all this, and then their excrement or their poop is an extremely strong amendment. Some people call it fertilizer, but technically it's not a fertilizer, but it works better than most fertilizers today. One, it's the plants create a stronger cellular structure and tend to grow a lot faster with the worm compost than they do without it. And none of this is going to be going to waste. On this particular plant, it's called Malabar spinach. It's a spinach that grows in the summertime. And each one of these little nodes on the stem are actually seeds. So each one of these is a brand new plant that will harvest another plant that will create several more seeds. And they grow very rapidly. These plants like high temperatures in the 90s. They actually thrive in them. So in the summertime, where a lot of plants will suffer, these will take off and keep on growing. And the reason why I'm pulling out the basil now, because these are summer plants. As soon as the first cold snap hit, all this is going to die and pass away. And instead of just throwing this away, what we're going to do is convert this into food for the plants. And what's interesting is that we're taught to take all of our plant waste, like leaves and such, off of our lawns. Big mistake. There are a lot of nutrients in those leaves. Mother Nature knows what she's doing. First of all, the leaves fall down on the ground and create a carpet to protect the roots from the cold. And as that breaks down over the winter time, those nutrients are released into the ground, making the tree grow stronger. So there's really no need for fertilizers and chemicals. After all, the earth has been doing it for millions of years. And after you use natural things like worm compost and other natural fertilizers, there's no runoff that's poisonous to the water and the environment. So what happens is, essentially, is when you use farm amenities such as bat guano, horse manure, what have you, what happens is when water goes through soil, water should come out filtered and clean. When water doesn't come out filtered and clean, there's definitely something wrong with the process. Break these off. This root system is so massive in here that it's actually slowing down the flow of the water.
Smells good too.
It does. This is still very fragrant. Unfortunately, it's not very healthy. As you can see here, these are light green instead of dark green. It's not nearly enough nutrients for the plant to be healthy because there's not many fish down here supplying the fertilizer to the plants. But what I can do is add some extra fertilizers to it, such as worm compost and other things, to give the plants more food so they grow healthy. And I just wanted to point out, see, this particular system is having a drainage problem. The overflow is going back into the water here. The reason why it's all clogged up like this, because anytime you see a plant underneath it, there's a root system that's just as big or 4 times as big. And what we have are a lot of roots down in here in the system that are slowing things down a bit. So once I pull out all the roots and let it drain, what we're going to get are is a system that the water flows smoothly, and then we'll start throwing in some lettuce and other things to get the ball moving.
And how long did it take for all this to grow?
Oh, this was growing over the summer. The tree's been in there for a year and a half now. It started from, almost 2 years now. It started from a seed. I just put a seed in there from, I can't remember if it was a lime or a lemon or orange, but I know it's something citrus. So I just threw it in there and it took off and started to grow and seems to be doing very well in the system. Even when it has low amounts of nutrients, it seems to do pretty well.
So look at that right there.
See, the system of aquaponics is simply mimicking what Earth already does and has been doing for thousands and thousands of years, actually millions of years, and creating a healthy environment for your plants to thrive in. See, each one of these is a seed, and as you can see, it has this purple residue, and it's similar to a bee. Didn't even taste like a bee. So there's really no reason for anyone to starve other than politics.
You can eat those?
Yeah, you can. I never even thought about that. You can. I guess they have just as much nutritional value as the plant itself. I never thought about that, but yeah, they're kind of earthly and remind me very much of a bee. And I've got a lot of mint in here I'm going to salvage. And see, when you take a plant like mint or basil or anything else, you can cut it off and make what are called clones out of it. So in other words, and anytime I take this off and then I replant it into the gravel or soil, what's going to happen, roots will start to grow on the stem, and that will be another healthy plant. And you can do it time and time again. Each one of these sections can be a whole new plant.
Get one more.
Well, that's pretty much it for now.
Aquaponics.
A few of these in here.
Gotta know how to do these things.
Yeah, they sure do, because the food that we get in the stores nowadays are very nutrient deficient, and you don't know what fertilizers they used, or should I say poisons, because in most cases that's what they use these days for that, is a lot of poisons, which is why when it goes through the soil it still comes out poison instead of clean water. Cool, that's pretty much it.
And that's a wrap. Aquaponics for you. Now I'm gonna eat some of these, what are they called?
Malabar spinach.
I'm gonna eat some Malabar spinach. Get back to nature, folks. Chill.